Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at our 2022 Mini Electric. It's a Mini yours, and this car is for sale with $1 reserve currently on TradeMe. Well, this one is a little bit different video, and some of my regular listeners, or watchers I should say, may not necessarily be into this, but this has been a daily driver for us for the last couple of years. It's a 2022 electric Mini, and we bought it literally just as a shuttle between Cass Bay, where we live, which is sort of over there somewhere, in and out of the city. And that's sort of a return trip for us of about 50-60 kilometers per day. And this car just eats up the kilometers, and it costs absolutely nothing to run. And why does it cost nothing to run? Because we run it on an energy plan that gives free electricity between 9 and midnight, and that's the hours that we charge this car. We just plug it in and go. But you didn't come to listen to me talk about it, you came to see it. So let's have a look. So walking around this car, it is in, I think, don't quote me, a British Racing green. It is a sort of a green metallic. It's a beautiful colour. I do like the colour, and that's one of the main reasons we chose it. Cooper S, and this particular one is a Mini yours. And I don't know a lot about all the different special edition Minis that they do, but I do know that they do a lot of quote-unquote special edition Minis, and I think this is one of them. It was a car that we bought new from Christchurch Mini, or Christchurch Mini Garage, or whatever they call themselves. And yeah, let's have a quick look through it. So it's got the black leather, black stitching. This particular one has the little special Mini yours badge, the Union Jack embossed into here. These Minis they're very cute. You either love them or you don't love them. I am a big Mini fan, and the reason is, as many of you know, I've had Grandma's Mini restored just recently that I managed to get back into the family, and my first car was a Mini. So that was one of the inspirations behind getting this one as a daily driver. We've almost never used the back seats because this has been used by my daughters to shuttle in and out of town with. There is a endless supply of mints that come with the car from BMW Mini, who gave us all of those. We're not obviously fans of mints, and there's probably plenty more where they came from when you get it serviced. And talking about getting it serviced, it's got factory warranty still sitting on this car. So I think that runs out in June, mid-year, and I'm sure you can get that extended if you need to. So the electricity just goes into there, and as I say, we just plug that in each night, and the car charges up. There's not a lot to them. The reason we got a Mini over any other kind of car, this is the charge cable that comes with it, just plugs into your normal home outlet, that side goes into the car. The reason we got a Mini over any other kind of EV is it looks cool. I mean, beautiful sort of diamond cut wheels. It's built with quality, which some of the cars that are coming out of China at the moment do not feel like they have that same sort of level of quality that you might get from a European car. And of course it's a Mini, and who doesn't love a Mini? They are the coolest thing. And also, to the naked eye, a lot of people don't realize it's an EV. So you've also got the sunroof on this one, which I don't think we've really used very much. And other than all of that, this is pretty much the review. It is exactly what it says on the tin. In terms of driving, these cars are actually really easy to drive, but they're also quite sporty because the battery pack is not a giant, battery pack like a lot of the EVs have. And therefore, I think the range is somewhere around 200 kilometers. So for daily driving in and out of city, absolutely perfect. Big road trip, you're going to need to stop along the way for charges, I guess, if you're doing a really big road trip, of which there are plenty. We haven't done road trips in it, we just use it around town. Because it doesn't have a giant battery, it means the weight distribution on the car is much more like the ICE or the internal combustion engine version of the car, which makes it feel very sporty, especially when you drive it in the sports mode. Okay, so the seats are super comfortable. They are, yeah, supportive on the side, so they're sort of a little bit sporty. I don't really know whether these Minis come with different types of seats. As I said, it's got the sunroof if you want it. You simply power it up. It feels just like an internal combustion car in terms of the way it all works and operates. So, you know, all of your systems and controls and buttons are all exactly the same. It has Apple CarPlay, and I would recommend using that or Android Auto. It's wireless CarPlay, so it just came on once I switched the car on, which is really good. If there was one negative I had to say about this car, it is that the operating system that drives the car when you're not using CarPlay, it's BMW type system. It's not the best. Just like Mercedes isn't that good, and I don't really like the Audi one either. So it's not a Tesla. It's not as good as the Tesla ones, but when you run CarPlay all the time like I do, it doesn't actually matter. You just jump in, CarPlay, you've got your maps, and away you go. So, power up the car. You've got your option here to flick it into sport mode, which is always good. There we go, sport dynamic setting. And then away we go. Super, super quiet. It's an EV, so of course it's going to be super quiet. But in that sporty mode, lots of fun. You know, I'm not going to say crazy amounts of power, but it's got the right amount of power. Remember, it's a small car, and it's got just the right amount of power for what you need in a little car like this, which makes it a fun trip every time you get into it. It's one of those things it's one of those cars that puts a smile on your face when you get in and drive it. I've owned a Nissan Leaf before, and I can assure you the Nissan Leaf does not put the same smile on your face as this car does. Nissan Leaf is in a very different sort of category than this car. This is something special, and you kind of know it the minute you get in and the minute you touch the wheel. The wheel is kind of like a good thick, it's got a really thick kind of leather feel to it. It's not a giant diameter on the wheel either, which makes it feel really more sporty, which is nice. And you've got your dial up front. This particular car comes with the optional heads-up display, which I don't actually use. So if you are looking at these cars and you're considering whether that's an option that you want, I wouldn't bother. It seems a little bit pointless. It's essentially a little plastic screen that pops up and displays the, you know, in a clear screen, clear piece of perspex, and it displays your speed and some other things. I don't really think it's necessary because just about 10 centimeters below that, you've actually got the actual speedometer, which is more than adequate. So I think that's all you really need. What else can I tell you? It feels like it's almost, yeah, we've had friends borrow this car and they've loved it. You know, it puts a smile on their faces to drive. It's one of those things, I guess, because it's got the heritage of being a Mini, and everybody has a Mini story. I've obviously told my Mini story about my first car, about my grandma's Mini that I've now restored, and it's got that heritage of the Mini. This particular one has, you know, this particular generation has the circular dial at the front, and it's got that whole circular theme kind of going right through the car, sort of circular side windows, circular buttons, and you know, it emanates fun. That's what it emanates, fun and coolness. So yeah, if you are looking for an EV to do daily about town, you know, driving in and out of town, if you have to commute, if you live somewhere like we do, which is on Banks Peninsula, and you have to commute, you know, a return trip of maybe 60, 70, even 100, even if your return trip was sort of 150 Ks a day, you know, let's say you lived in Rangiora or Oxford or somewhere like that, and you had to commute in and out of town, this is perfect, because you know, you do your commute, you plug it in at night while you're sleeping, it's charging, and it's job done. Now, the reason we're selling is our daughter has just bought a MX-5. Quite funny because there's an MX-5 in front of me. It's not hers, but I'm going to show you that because I'm a big fan of the MX-5. Very, very cool, and you know, a very proud father, because she's got a manual MX-5, and you know, one day we might feature that on the channel, because it's a very, very cool car, and I have had an MX-5 before, but this is not about the MX-5. So get in, place your bid, $1 reserve. I'm going to let the market decide where this car lands, because I think that's fair and reasonable. We've had it since new, as I mentioned. It's been serviced under its new warranty for free at the BMW Mini Centre in Christchurch, where we purchased it from. When we sell it, the remainder of the factory warranty will get passed on to the new owner, and you'll have an option after that to extend the warranty should you want to as long as you want. But it's been trouble-free motoring, to be honest, and we've done 21,500 Ks in this car. It's been effortless. It still looks just like the day we got it. It still drives just like the day we got it. There's nothing really to see here. So happy bidding. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, obviously comment below or jump into the auction and ask them. And I'll see you real soon. Next time you see me, by the way, is probably going to be at Airburn. We're going down to the Airburn Classic, and hopefully we'll be doing some filming down there. I'm going to be taking the manual Sprint Blue R8 down there, which will be a nice drive with Emma, my daughter, and that should be a really epic trip. So look out for that on the channel coming up next, and take care. Talk soon.